Okay, test 3 review. There are 30 questions. I'm going to do non-repeated questions. Question number 1. A restaurant offers the following limited lunch menu: main course, vegetables, beverage, desserts. If one item is selected from each of the four groups, there are four groups, in how many ways can a meal be ordered? So from each group, you need to count how many items are there. One, two, three, four. So from the fundamental counting principle, you have to multiply those numbers. So from the first group, it's a 4 times. From the second one, vegetables, 1, 2, 3 items. From the third one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. And from the fourth one, 1, 2, 3, 4 items. Just multiply this. So 4 times 3 times 5, 240 different ways we can order items. 240 different ways. You just have to multiply number of ways you can order from each group. You are taking a multiple choice test that has 6 questions. Each of the question has 3 answer choices with 1 correct answer per question. If you select one of these choices for each question and leave nothing blank, in how many ways can you answer the question? So there are 6 questions and each question has 3 different choices. So it's just 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You just have to use a calculator to calculate this value. So it's a 3 to the power 6. That is 729 different ways you can answer. License plates in a particular state display 4 letters followed by 2 numbers. How many different license plates can be manufactured? 4 letters from, and then each letter can be chosen from 26 alphabets. So 26 times 26 times 26 times 26 times 2 numbers. You can choose any from 0 to 9, which is 10 different options. So if you multiply all these numbers, it will give you the total outcome, which is 26 to the power 4 times 10 to the power 2, which is 100. So it's 45,697,600. 45,697,600. That many different license plates you can make from those you know alphabets and numbers. There are 5 performers who will present their comedy acts this weekend at a comedy club. How many different ways? So 5 performers. So it's a 5 factorial ways, because first performer could be anyone from 5. The second one could be anyone from rest of the leftover 4 and 3 and then 2 and then finally 1. So if you multiply this, that would be the different ways, which is 120 different ways they can perform. They can ways they can come. You need to arrange 6 of your favorite books along a small shelf. How many different ways? 6 different books. So 6 factorial way, which is 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2. So 6 factorial way, which is 720. 6 factorial means 720. A camp counselor and 8 campers are to be seated along a picnic bench. In how many ways can this be done if the counselor must be seated in the middle? So, and the camper who has a tendency to engage in the foot fights must sit to the counselor immediate left. So there are 8 campers and one counselor. So counselor is here, and 4 they will sit on the left side, 4 they will sit on the right side, and there is one person that has to be on the left of the counselor. So rest could be rearranged. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them can be rearranged, and which can be chosen in 7 factorial ways, because first one can be seated 7 different ways, second one 6, and then 5, and then 4, and then 3, and then 2, and 1, which is 7 factorial way. If you try to find the 7 factorial, then it would be actually 5040 different ways. 5040 different ways. A club with 7 members is to choose 3 officers: president, vice president, and secretary, treasurer. If each office is to be held by one person and no person can hold more than one office, in how many ways can those offices be filled? Out of 7, you are trying to choose. Out of 7, you are trying to choose 3 officers. So how many different ways you can choose them? Out of 7, you want to choose 3 officer, and then different officer at different posts. So this is the permutation problem, because the order matters. If one person is president and another person is vice president and vice versa, you have to count it twice. So it's a permutation problem. How many different ways you can permute 3 different officers out of 7? It's a 7 factorial divided by 7 minus 3 factorial, which is 7 factorial divided by 4 factorial, which is 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 factorial divided by 4 factorial, which is 210 different ways, right? If you multiply all this number, yeah, 210 different ways. The Senate in a certain state is comprised of 51 Republicans and 45 Democrats and 4 independents. How many committees can be formed if each committee must have 3 Republican and 2 Democrats? So each committee, it must be 3 Republican and 2 Democrats. The Senate in a certain state is comprised of 51 and 4. How many committee can be formed? In each committee must have 3 Republican and 2 Democrats. So you need to find out how many different ways you can select, 3 Republican out of 51. So we can choose 3 Republican out of 51, and then the order doesn't matter here, because this could be any 3. A, B, C, B, A, C, C, A, B, they are same thing, so it's a combination. So 3 Republican out of 51 Republican, we can choose in this many way. Similarly, 2 Democrat out of 45 Democrat, we can choose this many way. So we can calculate these 2 number, and then we can multiply this, and we can find out. So how many committees can be formed if each committee must have 3 Republican and 2 Democrats? So you need to find out these 2 numbers, and then you can multiply this to find out the total committees. Okay, so to answer this question, users have to find out the how many different ways you can choose 3 Republican out of 51, 2 Democrat out of 45, using the combination formula, because repetition, like ABC and CAB are the same thing in the committee. So this is the formula: 51 factorial divided by 48 factorial divided by 3 factorial. And then for the Democrat, it's 45 factorial divided by 43, which is 45 minus 2, and then divided by 2 factorial. If you use a calculator, this is the value you're going to get for the first one, and this is the value you're going to get for the second one. So the way we can select a committee with 3 Republican and 2 Democrat can be found by multiplying these 2 numbers. And I use that, and I found 20,616,750, and that's the right answer. In a race in which 5 automobiles are entered and there are no ties, in how many ways can the first 3 finisher come in? So first 3, it could be, so we can select the first one out of 5 in 5 different ways, the second one 4 different ways, and then third one in 3 different ways. So we need to choose sorry, excuse me, we need to choose 3 out of 5. And the order matters. That's why it's a permutation problem, because the let's say A is the first one, and B is the second one, and C is the third one. Then ABC and BAC, it's a different oh, okay, here the first three finisher, we don't care about who is first and second or third. So this is the combination problem. If we don't care about the order, then this is the how many ways can the first three finisher, it's a combination problem, so that is 5 factorial divided by 5 minus 3 is 2 factorial, 3 factorial, which is 5 times 4 times 3 factorial, and then 5 times 4 divided by 2 is 10. There are only 10 different ways. What happened? Let me check. Okay, what happened? Okay, it's this is my bad. I did not read the question properly. So here's the the learning from this. You always have to read the question properly 2 times, 3 times. I was thinking order doesn't matter, but first three, whenever they say first three, it's not just three of them. If we do care in how many ways can the first three, we only care about first three of them, and then first three of them could be in 5 times, 4 times, 3 different ways, which is actually the permutation problem instead of combination problem. So we don't divide by 3 factorial, so that would be the permutation problem, because ABC and BAC, we count this differently for the first three finisher. If B is the first or B is the second or B is the third one, it does matter. So if we do this 5 times 4 times 3, which is 120 different ways. So this is not combination problem, this is the permutation problem, which I, what happened here, which I where is the, so this is, what is that, 5 times 4 times 3, no, it's a 5 times 4 times 3, sorry, it's a 5 times 4 times 3 means it's not 120, it's a 60, sorry, it's a 60, sorry, my bad, that is the wrong calculation. So 5 times 4 times 3 is 60. So always use your calculator, okay, do not rush. A medical researcher needs 4 people to test the effectiveness of an experimental drug. If 13 people have volunteered for the test, in how many ways can 4 people be selected? So this is the combination problem, because the order doesn't matter. A, B, C, D, or 4 people, let's say they 4 of them, they have the name with A, B, C, D, then either you pick in this order or B, A, C, D, they are the same people, so order doesn't matter. This is the combination problem. So how many different ways you can pick 4 people out of 13 in combination? It's a 13 factorial divided by 13 minus 4 is 9 factorial, 4 factorial, 13 times 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 factorial divided by 9 factorial and 4 factorial. So just multiply this and divide that by 4 factorial. I'm going to do that. 13 times 12, sorry, 12 times 11 times 10, that's the number, divided by, I'm going to use the factorial command here. You might not have this command on your calculator, so you have to do it like 4 times 3 times 2 divided by 24 on the bottom part, so that would be 715 different ways. 715 different ways we can pick 4 out of 13 if order doesn't matter, which is right. A 12-sided die is rolled. The set of equally likely outcomes 1 through 12. Find the probability of rolling a number less than 9. So how many numbers are less than 9? 8. 8 out of 12. And you want to simplify that. So the probability is, because there are 8 number which is less than 9 out of 12, so there are 2 out of 3 numbers if you cancel the common factor 4, or if you use just your calculator, 8 out of 12 is this number. Do not use the decimal because it does not accept the decimal. You have to convert that to the fraction. I don't know if you have that calculator available, but I know how to simplify it, so I got it 2 over 3. Some of the calculator, or most of the scientific calculator, there is a way to go from decimal to fraction. You are dealt one card from a standard 52 card deck. Find the probability of being dealt a 4, a 4, 4. How many 4s are there? If you look at the cards, you see there are 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 4 out of 52. So 4, 4 out of 52, that's the probability. And if you just simplify this, it's a 1 out of 13. You can use your calculator to go from decimal to fraction and use the simplified fraction, okay? Okay, here is another problem from a 52 card. Same, find the probability being dealt the ace of diamonds. So there is just one ace of diamond. Look at here, diamond ace. Here is the 1 out of 52. So the answer is 1 out of 52. You select a family with 4 children. If M represents a male child and F represents the female child, the set of equally likely outcome for the children gender is this one. So how many options? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Find the probability of selecting a family with exactly 0 females. So count where you don't have females. Exactly 0 female is just 1. Other than this, all other cases have females. So it's a 1 out of 16. A single die is rolled twice. Whenever you do that, if there are 6 sides, then the possibility are, 36 different ways you can roll a die twice. And if I open this, you can see that these are the options. Either you have 1 1 or 1 2 or 1 3 or 1 4, and keep going like that. There are 6 rows and 6 columns for the outcome. So altogether there are 36 different outcome. If you roll a die twice, you are looking for the probability of getting 2 number whose sum is 10. So go back to the start crunch here and find out the 2 number whose sum is 10. So that you are going to find out either, what is that? It's supposed to be, if you go here, either 6 4 or 5 5 or 4 6. Only 3 of them, you see here, their sum is 10. Other than these 3, all other 2 outcome, the sum would be not equal to 10. So 1 2 3 out of 36. So 3 outcome has a sum 10 out of 36. If you simplify this, it's a 1 out of 12 chance. So it's a 1 out of 12. Go to the next problem. The table below shows the educational attainment of a country's population aged 25 and over. Use the data in the table expressed in millions to find the probability that randomly selected citizen aged 25 or over had less than 4 years of high school. Go and find out the column where you have 4 years, less than 4 years of high school. Less than 4 years of high school is on the first column. There are 32 million population out of 165 million. Total is 165. So the probability is 32 divided by 165. So 32 divided by 165. 32 divided by 165. They don't have any common factor because the only thing, it's divisible by 2, and the answer is supposed to be 32 divided by 165. 32 million divided by 165 million, that's going to be same thing. A group consists of 4 Democrats and 6 Republicans. 4 people are selected to attend a conference. in how many ways can 4 people be selected from this group of 10? So there are 4 Democrats and 6 Republican. 4 people are selected out of 10. So how many different ways we can do that? So 4 people out of 10, and because this is a committee, so order doesn't matter. So this is the combination problem. 4 out of 10, which is 10 factorial divided by 6 factorial divided by 4 factorial, which is 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 factorial divided by 6 factorial. 4 factorial means it's 4 times 3 times 2, which is 24. So just multiply this number and divide by 24, which is 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 divided by 24, which is 210 different ways you can select 4 members out of 10 group. That is the part A. How many ways can 4 Republican be selected from 6 Republican? So 4 Republican from 6 Republican is 4 combination from 6. So it's a 6 factorial divided by 6 minus 4 is 2 factorial, 4 factorial, which is 6 times 5 times 4 factorial, 2 factorial times 4 factorial. This is cancel out. 6 times 5 is 30 divided by 2 is 15 different ways. So you can select 4 Republican out of 6 Republican in how many different ways? 15 different ways, because 6 times 5 is 30 divided by 2 is 15. So probability of find the probability of the selected group will consist of all Republican. So all Republican, which is 4 Republican, the chances is only 15 out of 210. So if you find the probability, it is 15 out of 210. You need to simplify this. There is a 5 factorial. 5 divide 15 by 3. 5 times 4 times 2, it's a 42. So it's a 3 out of 42 chance. 3 out of 42. What happened? I did something wrong here. Did I some? So it's a. Oh. It's supposed to be. Oh yeah, I can simplify further. There is a 3 common factor. So always use your calculator to find the simplified fraction. So it's a 1 out of 14. So the answer is, the number is not wrong, but the simplification was wrong. So it's a 1 out of 14. 1 out of 14. Okay, so always read the instruction what answer they are looking for. They are looking for simplified fraction. A city council consists of 6 Democrat and 6 Republican. If a committee of 4 people is selected, find the probability of selecting 2 Democrats and 2 Republican. This question is similar to, I guess it's a, what is that? We did a very similar question somewhere here, Republican and then Democrat. I don't know. I did somewhere here, 16. Okay, I didn't find it, so let me just go over this problem. A city council consists of 6 Democrats and 6 Republican. If a committee of 4 people is selected, find the probability of selecting 2 Democrats and 2 Republican. So you need to find out how many different ways 4 people can be selected from 12. So 4 people from 12, and we don't care the order, that's why it's a combination problem. So it's a 12 factorial divided by 12 minus 4, which is, I guess I did a problem like this, which is somewhere here, 51. What is that? I did somewhere here. This is the problem I did. I don't know where was it. But that was not the probability problem. That was the combination problem. Okay. A Senate is how many committee can be formed if each committee must have 3 Republican and 2 Democrats. So you can find out the total like this as we did in question number 8. Okay, it's a probability problem. So anyway, I'm going to do it. So a city council consists of 6 Democrats and 6 Republican. If a committee of 4 people is selected, so you want to select, so I'm going to do this calculation in the back and I'm going to show you the calculation. Okay, so I did this calculation here this way. We can select 4 members out of 12 because there are 6 Democrats and 6 Republican, and that's a combination problem because order doesn't matter in the committee. So there is a 495 ways we can select four committee members from 12 members team. And then because there is a restriction, like we must have 2 Democrats and 2 Republican, so we can choose 2 Republican out of 6 in 15 different ways. Similarly, 2 Democrat out of 6, 15 different ways. So we can choose 4 group 4 of 2 Republican and 2 Democrat with 15 times 15 different ways. That's the fundamental counting principle. So that goes on the top, which is 225, and the total ways we can choose 4 people. So the probability is 15 times 15 divided by 495, and if I do this division I get 5 out of 11 different ways. So because I need the simplified fraction, this is the answer I got. If you are dealt 4 cards from a shuffled deck of 52 cards, find the probability that all 4 cards are diamond. So there are 13 different cards out of 52. All of them are diamond. So what is the probability? Probability is 13 out of 52, which is 1 out of 4. If you simplify that, what happened? What did I do? So let me just go back. 4 cards are diamonds. Find the probability that all 4 cards are diamond. Okay, sorry about that. If it's this probability is 1 card is diamond, which is there are 13 cards divided by 52. So I did wrong because I found the probability of choosing 1 card, not the 4 cards. So to answer this question, what you have to do, you have to find out how many different ways you can choose 4 diamonds out of 13 diamonds. Okay, which is the combination problem, which is 13 factorial divided by 9 factorial and 4 factorial. I'm going to calculate this here using the calculator. Similarly, how many different ways you can choose 4 cards out of 52 cards? That can be total ways we can select. We can select 4 cards out of 52, and then this is the total, and this is the 4 diamond cards. So the probability would be this number divided by this number. So I'm going to find out this number using a calculator. Okay, so I did this calculation here in the background. So we can choose 4 diamonds out of 13 diamonds using the combination formula, and there are 715 different ways. We can choose 4 cards out of 52 cards using again the combination formula, and there are 270,725 ways. The probability of finding 4 diamonds out of this total is 715 divided by this. So whenever you divide 715 by 270,725, I did that here, and then I got this number 0.002641, and then they say round to the 6th decimal place 246. So I'm going to round it to the 6th decimal place and then check answer. So this is the probability of getting 4 diamonds out of 52 cards. A professor had his student keep track of their social interaction for a week. The number of social interaction over the week is given here in this table. In the grouped frequency distribution table to the right, identify the upper limit of the 4th class. 4th class, 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the upper limit? 39. That's the upper limit for the 4th class. That's the you count 1, 2, 3, 4, then 39 is the upper limit for the 4th class. A professor had his student keep track of their social interaction for a week. The number of social interaction over the week is given here in the group frequency to the right, among the classes with the greatest frequency. First of all, find out the greatest frequency. So there are three groups with the greatest frequency 20, 20, 20. Among these three, which class has the least number of social interaction? As you can see here, 50 to 54 is the least one out of this three group. So 50 to 54 is the answer. Okay, students were asked, how stressed have you been in the last week on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being not all stressed and 10 being as stressed as possible. The students' responses are given here in the table. Construct a histogram. So to construct a histogram, so 0 there are 2, you need to just find out the right one. 10 there are 16, 8 there are 25, so the most one is 7, which is 28. 7, 28. This looks this is not right because it's keep increasing, but that's not the case. This is not right, and you have now two more choices. So this one, 10, 16 frequency, which is 15, 1, 16, 9, 12. Let me just make it, and this is, what is this, 7, and that is how many, 28, it looks 28, 8, 25, 6, 11, and then 5, 16, 5, what is that, 16, and then 4, 17. So this looks right. Let me go here, 5, and this is not 16. So out of these two, this is the right one. Okay, and for the frequency polygon, take the middle point and then just just connect them. If you do that, at 7 it has to be 20, and at 5 that's not right. This is what is that, here is at 6, 11, and 8, 8, 9, it's a 12. So at 6 it's 11, it's 12, and then what about at 10, 10 it's going up, to 8 it's going down. Okay, this looks right. Yes, these are the two closest one, but this is not right because of the frequency at 5 and 4. So this is the right one. Cool. You can also do this thing, I guess, in the start crunch. So let me just go here and open this stress resting, go to the graphs, and then histogram and stress and frequency. Let me try this one. Okay, where, okay, let me just compute it. Oh, this is frequency, this is a stress rating, 0, 10, 16. Oh yeah, that's the right one. I have to make it, I have to zoom in this. So I need to change the scale here to see the okay, color scheme, basic 7 color, X label, Y label, row per page. Okay, so you can always have this histogram tool in the StarCrunch for finding the right one, but for the Y scale it's a 10, and then for the X scale it's a 1. So what is that? X label, graph properties, scale. I am looking for scale. Start at okay, start at, no, type, frequency, frequency distribution, relative frequency, no, it's a frequency. I am looking for something, X is label. Okay, I don't know how to select the Y. frequency. I select both. Okay, I am not so sure how to change the scale here. Here they change the scale for the X, but I want to flip it. Okay, let me just give a couple of seconds. Okay, so for finding the very same, this histogram using the StatCrunch, I found a way. You go to the data, you go to the stat, where is that? You go to the graph, bar plot with summary. This is the summary, this is not actual data. So you select your category like stress rating on the x-axis and then frequency on the y-axis, and then you just do compute and it's going to give you the histogram with the frequency. So you can compare this with the given one. Here there is no separation, so you can also choose that, I guess, value above bar. What is the non-separation thing? Okay, I'm just playing with the different option here, but there is a way to frequency. Okay, yeah, just compare this one, the whatever you got, with the graph you have here, and then you'll be able to see the histogram. Describe what is the misleading in the visual display of the data below. So these are the display of the data, world population in billions, and these are the different time frames. So this timing is not in the right. So let's look at the options. The title does not explain. Time interval on the horizontal axis do not represent equal amount of the time. Look at here. It's 1904, 1927. So this is not equal. So this is the misleading visualization. Find the mean for the data item for the given frequency distribution. So open the StatCrunch. Either you use mean, means it's a multiplication of frequency times. Keep in mind, so if you have a frequency table, then mean can be calculated by, let's say you have the data, you have the frequency, you have to multiply the data and frequency, you have to add all those value and divide it by the sum of the frequency. This is the operation we would like to do. So let's do that. We know the total frequency can be found by adding all this number, and then we can multiply these two. We can do that using the StatCrunch, or we can use our calculator manually. So I'm going to compute the expression by building here. I want to multiply this first column. I select that, add the column. I select the operation, which is multiplication. I select another column, add the column. So it's going to multiply these two, and then I'm going to compute that in the third column. So as you can see here, this is the multiplication of these two columns. Now the formula is add this multiplication, so you need to find the sum of this and divide by the sum of the frequency. That can be done using the compute tool here, expression. You need to build new expression here. You want to find the sum of this third column, so type sum function parenthesis, select this column, add the column, parenthesis close, and divide. There is a division operation here on this calculator by sum of parenthesis frequency column. So add the frequency column and then close the parenthesis and do OK, and then it's going to compute that value, which is 4.045. So if you round it to the 3 decimal place, it's a 4.045. 4.045. That's the mean. Okay. Use the display of data to find the mean, median, and mode and mid-range. Remember the mean of the data. This is the data with the frequency. Data with the frequency. So you can just calculate the mean by multiplying the data with the frequency. So 10 5 times, 11 6 times, 12 9 times, 13 6 times, 14 5 times. So you can calculate this using calculator. So you multiply 10, and how many datas are there total? You can calculate the, okay, this is the formula we would like to calculate. The datas are, I'm going to use again start crunch. I can use the very same column. In this case the datas are 10 11 12 13 14. These are the data, and where is that? And then frequencies are 10 repeats 5 times, 11 repeats 6 times, 12 repeats 9 times. You can read the height. 13 repeats 6 times, 14 repeats 5 times, and then rest just cancel them. Cancel this. Okay, so now this one you can, this is not the multiplication of these two, you need to do it again. So go back to the data and then compute expression and build the expression. This is score times frequency. So that is the multiplication of these two. So score times frequency. Don't worry about this, you can just cancel this. This is the new multiplication. Look at here, 10 times 5 is 10 times 5 is 50, 11 times 6 is 66, and so on so on. So you can use the same stat crunch sheet to calculate this multiplication. And now we want to compute the expression, which is the new one, which is this. You can find the sum of that, this column, and divide that by sum of the frequency column, which we already have there. We already updated those information. So whenever I do that, it gives me the mean, which is, you have the sum of this divided by the sum of the frequency, which is 12. The mean data is 12. What about the median? Median is the middle one. So as you can see here, the data, if you arrange it, once again, there are, how many datas are there? 11 plus 9 is 20, 26, and then 31. So the middle one, the median is the middle one, so it's a 16th data. So 5 plus 6 is 11, 11, and rest of the data, they are 12. 12 is one of the 16 data. Frequency means repetition, you know, whenever you repeat 10, 10, 10, 10, 5 times, next 11, 11, 6 times, and then you are repeating 12, 9 times. So median means 16th data, which is the middle data, which would be 12. And mode is most repeated one, which is the highest frequency. As you can see, that is the 12 as well. And the mid-range, if you look at the mid-range is the highest one, highest data plus lowest one divided by 2. So the highest is 14 plus lowest one is 10. So 10 plus 14 is 24, divided by 2 is 12. Okay, so we can use StatCrunch, or we can use the simple calculator to answer this type of question. Use the display of the data items to find mean, median, and mode. Remember, mean means it's the all the data divided by the total frequency. If you write down this data, it's actually 51, 51, 54, 53, 76, 79, 79, 75, 93, 97. For finding the mean, you have to add all this number and divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, the mode is most repeated one, like 79 and 79, it's repeating twice. So that's the mode, no problem. nothing is repeating twice than 79, so the mode is 79. Median is the middle one, so as you can see here, the middle one is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So middle one is the fifth one, so that is 79 as well. For finding the mean, you can add all these numbers and divide by 9. So I can use simple calculator, which is 51 plus 54 plus 53 plus, what is that, 51 plus 54 plus 53 plus 76 plus 79 plus 79 plus 75 plus 73 plus 77. I add all these number, divide by 9, that's my median, which is nearest 10th, means 79.7. 79.7. Okay, one thing I did not pay attention, the thing is, to find the median you have to write it down in the increasing or decreasing order. They are not in order, so you can sort the data. So let me just use the StarCrunch. I can just delete everything here, and then I can type my data here, which would be easier one instead of doing it manually. Okay, so I'm going to type, it's a 51, 54, 76, 79, 79, 75, 93, 97. So these are the data. How many? Did I miss something? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So did I miss something? 51, 54, 53. I missed 53. So I can sort this data by going here and clicking sort the table, and now it's sorted data. Out of this sorted data, now I can go to the stat, and I can go to the summary stat, and I can select the column, the variable 1, and I can find all the things like mean. I can select that, control, select the median, and then what else? Mode, if there is a mode, I don't know. And then it's going to compute for me. It's a 73 is the mean. 73 is the mean. Oh, did I do something wrong? 51, 53. My addition was wrong. Let me just check it. We're trying to find the sum of a variable 1. That is right. So mean is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9. So the mean is 73. So manually I found 79.7, which was wrong for some reason. And then median is 76. 76. If you go back here and find out the middle one, which is fifth one, which is 76. Yeah, my data, they were not sorted. And 79 is the mid range, is the highest one plus the lowest one. If I go back here, the highest one is 97 and the lowest one is 51. So 97 plus 51, divide that by 2, that's the mid range, which is 74. So mid range is 74. That's a formula. Let me check. So the good idea is type your data here in the StarCrunch. Open, even you don't have any StarCrunch available here, open your StarCrunch from one of the problem you have given already, and then use the very same worksheet to type the data, and then you can find all the answer. An advertisement for a speed reading course claimed that the average reading speed for people completing the course was 1000 words per minute. Shown below are the actual data for the reading speeds per minute for a sample of 24 people. Now we have to answer, find the mean, median, mode, and mid-range. Just copy that in StarCrunch. It will be easier. And then just go to the stat, summary stat, select the column, find the mean, control median, control, what is that? Mode, Mid-range is minimum plus maximum, so I'm going to find the minimum. What is that? Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that manually. Okay, compute this. So the mean is 872.91, round to the nearest whole, so it would be 873. 873. The median is, keep in mind, read the instruction, they want the nearest whole number, so the median is 900, no problem with that. And then the mode is 1000, so that's the most repeated one. And now what about the mid-range? Mid-range is the maximum plus minimum. If you sort the data, you will be able to find the maximum is 1100, minimum is 600. 11 plus 6 is 1700, divided by 2 is what is that? 850. So the mid-range is 850 because that's the mean of the largest and then the smallest one. What measure of the central tendency was given in the advertisement? Measure of the central tendency, everything. What measure of central tendency was given in the, okay, 1000 is the the information, that was the mode actually. The mode is 1000, so that was the given in advertisement, so that is the mode. Which measure of central tendency is the best indicator of the average reading speed in this situation? Okay, a most repeated one, the median is 900 and then mode is 1000. So the best is, let's go back and look at the data one more time. What is the data here? So as you can see, the data is very close to, the question is which measure of central tendency is average. Average means it could be mean or median. In this case, no mode, because for the mean and median we don't have any outlier, so it's not that. Keep in mind all four of them are measure of central tendency, but except mode is just a repetition. So that does not represent the average for this data. So you can choose either mean or the median, or maybe the mid-range. So do we have that option? The mid-range would be the best measure. Either the mode or mid-range would be the, okay, I would say either the mean or median would be the measure of the central tendency. Okay, let's go to the next problem. Find the standard deviation. This is the data, open in StatCrunch, and then you can find the standard deviation by going to the stat summary, stat, select the column, select the standard deviation function here, and it's going to compute the standard deviation, which is in this case 5.38 if you round it to the 2 decimal place. 5.38. Use the display of data to find the standard deviation. Remember, 7 is 2 times, 8 it's repeating 5 times, 9 it's repeating 2 times, so standard deviation is approximately. First of all, you need to write down the data here. So I'm going to use the same thing here. I need to write down the data 7, and then data 8, data 9, data 7, 8, 9. So if I want to use the standard deviation calculator here, I have to write down this data manually. 7 is repeating 2 times, so 7, and then again 7, again 7. 8 is repeating 5 times, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, and 9 is repeating 2 times. So this is the total data. So now I can go to the stat summary stat. For this small data size like this, I can just type it manually and I can find the standard deviation. Okay, compute. So the standard deviation is 0.7071, nearest 100, so that means 0.71. You can type the data because 7 is repeating twice, 8 is repeating 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9 is repeating twice. From here, the standard deviation is 0.71. 0.71 if you round to the nearest 100. Okay. Two classes took a statistic test. Both classes had a mean score of 73. The score of class A had a standard deviation of 5, and those of class B had a standard deviation 10. So both of them have the same mean 73, but one is lower standard deviation than another one. So how do you compare this? The student in class A received a score that differed from the mean more than, that's not right. This is the right one. The student in class A received a score that differed less from the mean, less than the student from class B. So that's the test 3 review.